Hi, David here, CEO and founder of the Freedom Founders Mastermind community. I often post blogs or threads on various forums to in a kind way to provoke people's thinking. I don't know. I like to interfere in people's lives, but hopefully in a positive way, not to demean them, not to cause friction, but just to make people think. Why? Because that's how I learned in my own life how to go from point A to point B, whatever point B was. Getting the next steps to my desired goals, eventually to freedom, which I think is the thing we all want in life, is to have freedom of choice. I posted something the other day in terms of the secret to financial freedom is to take your active income, turn it into assets creating income that you don't have to work for anymore. Turn it into assets, rinse and repeat until you don't have to work anymore. I mean, it's very, very simple, is it not? And someone said, "Well, it's not a secret," and I didn't respond back. I just thought, well, if it's not a secret, then why wasn't everybody doing it? Okay. Look, I had to learn it myself. It wasn't something natural. It's not something that's taught to us in schools. We're taught in America, in this society, to go to school and get training in something and work, be workers. And that's good. We should have a work ethic. That's what this country is built on. But the same work for 35, 40 years, not changing the model at all, I think that's where things have gone awry. And there is a sunk cost fallacy, particularly in the investment that many of us have made in our own education, into our profession. Lots of years of education, time, the money, the school loan debt, and then getting out and starting that business, that practice. A lot of capital goes into that. So pulling away from that and saying, I'll just do that for a few years and then I'll move on, not likely. But there's still opportunities, even within the context of what we've been trained to do, that if we can flip the switch and turn it from what's work, into something we love, then we could still do what we're trained to do, but not do it in the way that everybody else says you have to do it. So I posted something the other day about the secret to financial freedom, and someone said to me, responded back on this forum, said, well, then why do you still work? It's a very, very naive question, but I didn't want to put this person down because it's a common question. So David Phelps, if you've got this financial freedom and you have the Freedom Founders community, what the heck are you still doing out there working? That question, the person who asked that question is not qualified to ask the question. And again, I say that with kindness. They don't know what they don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was born with a work ethic and went through the sacrifice period, which unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you're going to go through a sacrifice period in your life. But the point is to shorten that sacrifice period down to where you actually acquire, build whatever assets that you can build and maybe oversee, supervise, manage from afar with help with other people so that you can actually live your life and do the things you really love, which could be part of your training, could be something different. For me, it was something really totally different. I love the aspect of orchestrating deal flow and financial structures and through tangible assets like real estate. I've always loved doing that, but I had dentistry, and so I tried to do both in tandem. So I said back to this younger person who asked me, why do you still work? And I said, hopefully you'll be able to answer that question for yourself sooner versus later. And I proposed back to him, I said, why does Warren Buffett still work? I mean, pick any people out there that have been successful in their life. Do they just get to a point where they have enough mega millions of dollars and they just go lie on the beach? Heck no. That's not what got them where they are. It's being inquisitive, being purposeful in life, wanting to have impact and significance. And when you get beyond having to trade time for dollars, where you have to go do it, which is called work, then it turns into a passion. And so my answer back was somewhat in that vein. Why does Warren Buffett still work? Because it's not work. He loves what he does. There's a passion for it. As soon as you can get in your life to where you don't have to do the things you're doing the way you're doing it right now, that's total freedom. And you can get there sooner than you think. You just haven't been taught the concepts and the models. And there's a lot that goes into that, but it's not complex. It's not hitting some Hail Marys in some crazy investment strategies that let that happen. Going to Vegas and trying to strike it rich, in the stock market or with crypto. You can do those things, but that's not going to be the run rate to get you where you want to go. And I see so many people running for the bright shiny object, the silver bullets that are going to turn the dime. It's just like, it's going to be a frustrating model. I had to learn it my way. I had to learn it through my own provocations, and really what set me to really thinking about this hard was when my daughter was going through her health crises, and I had to decide, do I keep doing it the way I'm doing it, even though I was, quote, successful, providing for my family, doing fine, but I wasn't able to put my time where I wanted to. I was chained down by the trading time for dollars that I was accustomed to doing, like we're all trained to do. I was chained down to that, so I didn't have the freedom. I looked at the assets. Fortunately, I was acquiring assets. Yeah, rental properties. Nothing sexy. Over about 15 years, and I had a lot of those paid off at the point where I needed to make that decision. I was that fork in the road. Do I keep doing what I'm doing, or do I take what I've got from the income from the assets I have been building over time, compounding, and go to freedom? At least freedom for a period of time. Just something different so I could spend time with my daughter. And that turned into everything I love to do today. I'll never quit, quote, working because what I do is not work. I love what I do. I love the people I get to work with. I don't deal with people or staff that aren't fun to work with. Now, back in the day when I had to make money to pay the bills, yeah, you put up with a lot of stuff. But don't put up with it any longer than you need to. There is a path to freedom. I've got one of the answers, and that's not a come on. I've done this for hundreds of doctors and dentists and their spouses and for their families, and I love what I do. And if you have any inkling that you want the same thing, I just say, give it a try. Give us a call. Talk to us. The social proof is there. It's all about your freedom. You've got to take charge of it.